Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to download the Owlgaming code onto an MTA server. Um, I realize there's really no videos out there for this. It's mostly either you figured out yourself or you know a guy, or maybe there's a couple straggly tutorials around there somewhere, but figured I'd just make this video to make it easier. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible, but there is a bit to it. I also plan on making some more videos in the future for a more in-depth look at the code and to kind of explain everything. Those ones, I'm not going to have a time restraint, I'm just going to talk. So, if you're interested, check out my channel when the time comes and you'll find them. But in the meantime, you're going to need a couple prerequisites for this. So, to start, you're going to need a MySQL server. Whether you want to self-host it or purchase one or whatever the case might be, I know they're pretty cheap. You're going to need one of those. I don't provide a tutorial on how to self-host because that could take a while. So you'll have to look that up. But that's going to be important because this entire code uses MySQL for its database related stuff. It doesn't use the internal DB or anything like that. Once you have that, you'll get to this, and I'll leave all the links in the description as well so it's easier for you, but you'll go to the GitHub, and on their GitHub they have both the GTA 5 Owlgaming code and the MTA Owlgaming code. And they're both open source, so if you ever find like an issue or bug or whatever, you want to fix it, then go ahead and contribute it, and I'm sure future people will appreciate that. But in the meantime, you'll click this, and you'll click download zip. I've already downloaded it for just convenience, but right there, and then boom. Usually I drag everything to my desktop. I just have a habit of it, as you can tell. I didn't feel like cleaning my desktop for this video, so sorry. And then inside there's this right here. Just drag that right out. It might take a second. So in the meantime, I have downloaded a fresh install of MTA. So what you're going to do is go to your root MTA folder, usually in your program files 86, and go to server. And then from there, that's all of your local server files. So from there, you want to go to mods, deathmatch, and then you'll have your files. Now, I recorded a version of this video before that I ended up deleting, so I already have all the files in here, but I'll go through it anyway. So, the ACL, on most servers, the ACL is like your admin control list, or your access control list, or whatever it's called. That is your admin privileges for the server. Now, in the Owl server, or the Owl code rather, it doesn't use ACL for that. It does use it though for development related stuff. So really the most important part of that right there is going to be, where is it? User.scripter. Because when you become a scripter, and also user.headadmin, it just, yeah, I can't explain it without going in depth of the code, but it's important. So you're going to want to transfer it over anyway. You're going to go to the file here. Now to start, all this stuff right here, this is Docker stuff. Now if you know what Docker is, cool. If not, there's no sense in explaining it. It's not the most important. It's something that I'm not going to provide in the tutorial on how to set up because you don't need it. So if you feel like it, you can delete this stuff. But otherwise, you'll go to the main files here. Deathmatch, and then boom. So data right here, this is your database, your empty database files. The data one right here is not important. That was more for the original server. You're really only going to be using core and MTA, and I didn't even upload the data to mine. I don't use it. Linux libraries, that's important if you're going to be uploading to a Linux, like a VPS or whatever. Modules is important. You will need those. That's your bcrypt and your MySQL modules and everything. keep in mind that you'll only really need, so .so is for Linux, .dll is for Windows. So if you have a Windows server, you'll use the DLL. If you have a Linux, then you'll use the .sos, and I'll explain how to specify that when we get to it in a minute. Again, ACL, you want to transfer that over. Resources, if you don't already know, that's like your meat and potatoes of your code that has all of the features and scripts and everything. Now, the code comes with these two .back files. There's really no need for it to be .back. I don't know why it's like that. It might have just been the way they exported it or whatever the case is, but you can simply just delete the .back. Yes, and it turns back into your normal file. Now, that's important because it won't read if it's a .back. Vehicle colors, it's not important. Your default server already comes with that. So, two things now. To reiterate on those modules, you're going to want to go into the MTA server.config, and this is all of your main stuff, you know, like your server name, blah blah blah, right here. Now they've made it very, very easy to where your modules are right here, and it even explains actually. So you're going to use the .so on Linux or DLL on Windows, and you can change that as needed. Everything else for the most part is set up. I know there's not a lot of descriptions on all these settings, but if you download like your fresh install of MTA, each setting will have a description. So whether you have to change your port or whatever the case is. I think in one of my longer videos, I'll go more into depth on what this file contains, but for the time being, we're not going to worry about that. Now you have the settings. The settings.xml is where you're going to put your database connection information, and I'll explain why it's there in a second. So you open that with code, and then you have this little file right here. And really the only things you're going to have to change is right here. So that's going to be your MTA database connection and then your core database connection. And pretty much it's going to be the exact same thing except for database name. So you'll just type in like, it's usually called like, you know, MTA and core or something. And then you put your login information for your SQL, the password for your SQL, and then your host might be like an IP, whatever, you know, or it might just simply be localhost. Really just depends on how you've set it up, and then your port for the database. All this other stuff is generally unimportant. Obviously, if you want to disable your inactivity scanner, it's right there. It kind of gives you some info about it. In Imgur, now in the current code, I know Imgur API has changed recently with their premium stuff and whatnot, so it might not work for you. If Imgur doesn't work, like textures and stuff like that, then you're going to have to move to like postimages.org or something like that. But aside from that, yeah. Now, you've set up your database connection through there. Now, I did skip a step, and that's uploading your database to your actual SQL. So before you actually put in your database information, of course, you're going to want to make sure the databases, exist. So you're going to upload both of them. And you have your core right here, which has most importantly your accounts and also bans and whatever, and the rest of the stuff you'll have in here is pretty much irrelevant unless you set up PayPal APIs and stuff like that again. I've already deleted some, as you can tell. You'll notice some differences. I'm not going to click on accounts because I don't want to dox anybody. There's emails and stuff in there. And then you have your MTA. And mine will look slightly different than yours because I've modified mine, but this is pretty much everything else for your entire script. There is one important thing about this though when you start, and excuse me because I'm not sure if they've changed this recently in the GitHub, but you're gonna go to, where is it? elevators. And elevators will be empty. There's going to be nothing in here, just as most of them are. And you've noticed that I've put the first entry has zeros all across the board. And that, I can't really explain it to you because it's been a while since I've seen the bug, but it will cause a bug if there's nothing in here. So you're going to just want to put the first entry as a placeholder entry. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 all across the board. I'm sorry, you're going to want to add that in. So after you've added that in, after you've added both databases, then you can go into your settings and obviously put your database connection information. And then from there, you should be good. You'll go to server, and again, that's where the exe is to launch your local server. So you can click on that. And now I'm going to get all these errors because I didn't put real database information in. It's saying it can't connect to the MySQL. I just don't want to give out my database information, so there's that. It's ready to accept connections, great. So I did make another video of this, which is why it showed like that. But you'll see on your local tab here that your local server is now ready. So you connect to it. And boom, you have the Owlgaming code ready to go. There are a couple more steps. You're not entirely done. Again, I didn't connect to a database, so I can't actually log in. But what you'll do to start is register, because there's no accounts on the server, so you have to register. Put in all your information, and then once that's submitted, you're going to go to the core database. The core database will have, where is it? Right here. It will have the accounts, as I showed you earlier. And what you're going to be looking for is this stuff right here. Now, I just opened it in the file, again, because I don't want to open it in my PHP, my admin, because I have other people's information on there. But you'll open it through there, right on here, right there, and right there. And you'll be looking for scripter and admin. Now, scripter, you want to put it to 10. There's obviously only 3 scripter roles in the server. You put it to 10 because when you do that in this code, it gives you basically complete access to everything. It's just like the quick workaround to, hey, like you're basically the owner of the server. So you put scripter to 10. And then admin, I want to say there's 5 ranks. So you throw your admin to 5 on your account, of course. And once you've done that, you'll have access to everything, all of the admin stuff on the server. And you can type /staffs once you're in game, STAFFS, and from there you'll be able to modify or change any other ranks for any other accounts. After that, so you've put your folders into your local server, you've set up your database files into your MySQL, you've connected your files to your MySQL, and you've launched the server. And of course, you've also changed the elevators thing in the database, and afterwards, after you've made an account in game, you've changed your admin level and your scripter level so you can have access to everything. And from there, that's it. You have set up an Owlgaming server. Like I said, in the future, I'm going to make more in-depth videos about the code because I realized that there's not a whole lot about this code, and originally I was going to write documentation out, but that's a lot of writing, and I figured just talking, you know, even if I might trip over my words sometimes, or it might be really long videos or whatever it is, I think it's really beneficial to everybody. So stay tuned, feel free to subscribe, or you can join our Discord. It's in our YouTube channel. It's the Monky Gaming one. And you'll be able to see every time we post a new video. So keep an eye out. And again, check out Monky Gaming. We have several servers. We have the SAAW World War II PvP server. We have a single player emulated server, and we have a roleplay adventure server that uses this code. So if you ever want to try out a very, very advanced version of the Owl code, feel free to check it out. And with that being said, I'll see you guys soon, and thanks for watching.